Mira was sentenced to prison for a crime so dangerous that nobody in the kingdom dared commit it. She sat under a tree for 10 minutes. Sounds impossible, right? But in her kingdom, it was the worst rule anyone could break. In a faraway kingdom called Valoria, something strange happened. Nobody was allowed to rest, not for even 1 minute. The king believed laziness was the greatest enemy of success, so he made a law. Every citizen must stay busy at all times. People worked while eating, worked while walking, worked while talking. No citizen was allowed to rest. Not children, not workers, not even the elderly. Every minute of every day had to be productive. At first, the kingdom became rich. Roads were built. Gardens bloomed. Factories ran all day and night. The king proudly announced, "See, laziness has been defeated." But after a few years, something unexpected happened. Inventors stopped inventing. Artists stopped creating. Writers stopped writing stories. Scientists stopped discovering new ideas. Nobody understood why. The kingdom was busy, very busy, yet nothing new was being created. Then there was a 12-year-old girl named Mira. One afternoon, she accidentally broke the law. While walking home, she sat beneath a giant tree and did nothing. She stared at the clouds for 10 whole minutes. A guard caught her. "You're being lazy." Mira was taken before the king. "What were you doing?" demanded the king. Mira thought carefully and said, "I was watching the clouds." The king asked, "Why?" "I don't know," Mira replied. The king gasped. "You don't know? That's even worse." Mira was sentenced to spend a day in the old, forgotten tower. Everyone thought it was punishment, but the tower contained something nobody had seen for generations, and that is silence. No schedules, no tasks, nothing. For the first few hours, Mira felt bored. Then she started noticing things. Patterns in the dust, shapes in the sunlight. Birds building nests. Wind making music through broken windows. Her mind began wandering, and then an idea appeared, a brilliant idea. She sketched a machine that could bring water to farms using only wind. The very next morning, Mira took her sketch to the king. Curious, he ordered his finest engineers to build it exactly as she had designed. Engineers built it. Then, a few weeks later, they tested it for the first time. To everyone's amazement, it worked perfectly, carrying water across the fields with the power of the wind. The kingdom celebrated. But then the king asked, "Where did this idea come from?" Mira answered, "From doing nothing." The king laughed. "Impossible!" So Mira suggested an experiment. The king agreed. 100 workers would continue their normal, non-stop work. Another 100 workers would spend 1 hour every day doing absolutely nothing. No books, no tools, no tasks. Just thinking. A month later, the results shocked everyone. The non-stop workers completed more work. But the thinkers created every new invention. better bridges, better farms, better medicine, better schools. The king finally realized something. Laziness and rest were not the same thing. True laziness was refusing to do what needed to be done. But quiet thinking, dreaming, wondering, those were where great ideas were born. The king immediately changed the law. Every citizen would now have one empty hour each day, an hour for imagination, an hour for doing nothing. Years later, Valoria became the most creative kingdom in the world. And at the center of the capital stood a statue of Mira. Beneath it were 4 simple words: "Great ideas need silence." Visitors would travel from distant lands to see the statue of Mira, the girl who proved that sometimes the busiest mind is born during the quietest moment.
If you like this story, then please share, like, and subscribe to our channel, Happy Bee Tales.